Learn about the strides female entrepreneurs of color are making. Be inspired by their story and enlightened by their leadership, insight, and advice.
Welcome back to another season of WinHers United, the podcast. I enjoyed the break, but I surely did miss you all. I'm your host, Nicole Walker, and I truly appreciate you listening in. This is Season 9, Episode 1, entitled Tell Yourself Who You Be with Shaniece M. Before we jump into the interview, I want to tell you more about me and WinHers United, the podcast. I believe that success leaves clues, and WinHers United, the podcast was created to give you the clues you need to succeed in business, mindset, personal development, and self-care. These are the 4 pillars we stand on here at WinHers United, which is why they are emphasized so we all can live a complete and fulfilled life, both personally as well as professionally. I want to take a moment to give a shout out to Mitko from Bulgaria. Mitko, thank you for leaving us a review. Mitko said, WinHers United is insightful. Nicole is a rock star, stunning guest, and tons of insight. Thank you again, Mitko. Your time is truly appreciated. If you want a shout out, please go to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star rating, then write us a review. I would love to give you a shout out on a future episode. Now, without further ado, let's get into Season 9, Episode 1, entitled Tell Yourself Who You Be with Shaniece M. All right, so today we have another amazing, winning woman of color entrepreneur here to share her insight and advice with us. So Shaniece, welcome.
Hey, yay, everybody. Hey, Nicole. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right. So before we learn all about Shaniece and she gives us all her gems, let me just give you all a quick intro. Shaniece Wise is the CEO of Wise, Armstrong and Associates, which is a business coaching and consulting firm. Shaniece is a certified business expansion coach and strategist with over 17 years of coaching experience. She helps business owners gain visibility, increase profitability, and improve systems and strategies so they can build 6- and 7-figure empires. I can't wait to learn more about this, by the way. Look, listen. Shaniece is also a highly sought after speaker and has spoken at places like Essence Magazine, National Associations of Women in Business, The Ohio State University, and many more. In 2021, she was also chosen as one of the top 20 coaches in Columbus, Ohio by Influence Digest. So, Shaniece, I'm ready. Listen. Okay.
Girl, you was reading that. I'm like, who is that chick?
Right. She is you and you are her. And we are excited to hear from you.
Yay, I'm excited to be here.
Good.
So let's talk business.
All right. So let's start off by you telling us more about how you got started with Wise, Armstrong and Associates.
Absolutely. So I love telling this story. I've always been, even young, telling people what to do, coaching and teaching and doing all that jazz. And so graduated from Ohio State and went into pharmaceutical sales. And I realized that corporate just was not for me. I realized that I needed to be my own boss and do my own thing. So when I left Nicole, when I stepped out on faith and walked away from corporate, I became a Mary Kay sales director. And so I was the chick driving the pink Cadillac. I was 24 and I was one of the youngest African Americans in Columbus, Ohio, driving a pink Cadillac in Mary Kay. So a lot of people think about Mary Kay as just selling makeup, but it's actually an amazing business, an amazing company. And I built my empire in Mary Kay. I had over 300 consultants throughout my career. I sold over $500,000 worth of Mary Kay products. I had over 4 or 5 sales directors. I mean, I was featured on all their platforms. I was doing my thing, but I was building someone else's brand. And so the entire process, I'm traveling all over the country, Nicole, teaching women how to build businesses and teaching leaders how to, train and build their businesses. I mean, I'm doing all this work for someone else. And even though I was making an amazing commission, okay, it wasn't my own. It wasn't my own. And I'm really obedient to the Spirit of the Lord. So I'll never forget, I was at the peak of my peak. And God told me it was time to step down and build my own coaching firm. And when I tell you, everybody was looking at me like I had 5 heads. My girlfriends in Mary Kay were like, what are you doing? You're making all this money. You're doing this. You're driving these free cars. But I knew that it was something else that God wanted me to do, and so I gave it all up. I gave up the car. I gave up the consultants to build Wise Armstrong and Associates. And it was not easy. I built it from the ground up, because when it's your own brand, you got to do a lot of legwork. I had to create my own marketing strategies. I had to kind of reinvent myself because everybody knew me as the Mary Kay lady. So I really had to reinvent myself. And, it evolved from me going around and just speaking all over and teaching what I knew and investing in myself, Nicole, building up my brand, building up me personally, getting the proper tools to run my own company. And I mean, I could go on and on and on, but that's just kind of how, my business coaching and consulting firm evolved. And I love what I do. I know that I am gifted to teach and educate women in business, especially women of color, because our walk is different.
Right.
The things that we have to deal with, it is different. But we can still achieve and we can still win. So I'm grateful for my time in Mary Kay, but I love running my own company and being the CEO.
I love that. Oh my goodness. So many things just popped out to me as I was listening to you. I'm also I'm a Mary Kay consultant, right? I got in because I wanted to save some money on some products, but
yeah, and the product is amazing. Like, girl, that's all I use. I love it. And I love the company, but I just needed my own thing,
Right. I do agree. Mary Kay gives you a great foundation to be able to even, launch out on your own, because you learn a lot of good things and you get those leadership principles that you were talking about, right? Now, what I heard you say a few times over, what, you experienced in your life was a pivot, right? Pivoting from corporate into Mary Kay, pivoting from Mary Kay into Wise Armstrong and Associates, right? And being okay with that pivot, even if no one else agreed with you or understood your journey. And I think that that's a word within itself.
Absolutely. I mean, life is about pivoting, right? If you want to evolve, if you want to grow, we only have one life to live. So we have to take advantage of all the opportunities that are presented to us. So, I mean, I could tell you a million times where I've had to pivot. But you know what, Nicole? Every time I pivoted, I walked into something that was even better, even greater. I feel like every pivot that I've taken has been another level of me stepping out on faith. And I just believe when you step out on faith, God will shift the universe in your favor. And that's what he did for me. So yes, I had to pivot, and it always didn't look pretty, and everybody didn't always agree to it, but I had to follow what was best for me. And so we pivot in life. Why not pivot in business too?
I love that. I love that. I feel like it's someone out there listening that's, doing the thing that they've been doing for who knows how many years, and it's their safe space, right? But just because it's the safe space doesn't mean that's where you belong. So I feel like that was an encouragement to, get out there and fly, so to say, right? I remember seeing, it was a while ago, and it really hit my spirit. It was a meme of a little like Tinkerbell standing on a ledge, and she's about to jump. And then she says, what if I fell? And it said, well, what if you fly? Right. So, right. It's okay.
It's okay.
All right. So I read in your bio, right? And the bio will be in the show notes, guys. So check it out. But in your bio, it talked about your business expansion system, right? Like just those words in itself give me a little chill. Like I want to know more. I want to know more about that. So can you give us a sneak peek, one tip, just something about
Absolutely.
your business expansion system?
Absolutely. It's the framework from what I teach from. It's my curriculum. So when a business owner comes to me and they want to join I have a 12-month coaching program that really helps them develop in every area, mentally, personally, as well as business. I take them through my 6 building blocks of business expansion. The first building block is the identification block, where I need to deep dive into their business to find out where they're leaving money on the table, what they've already implemented, the areas where they need to grow. So I teach, if you think about a tree, okay, a tree is deep rooted in the ground. And your gifting, what you do is the main piece of your tree. And then you have all these branches that come out of your tree. And these branches represent cohesive ways for you to make money that connect to your business. So let me use me as an example. So my gift is teaching and educating. So one of my branches is my coaching program. Another branch, I'm an author. I'm a 2-time author. That's another way that I earn revenue. I do workshops. That's another branch. I have digital products, courses, and digital checklists and ebooks. So all these different branches, when you go through the identification stage, I look at what are the additional ways that you can make money in order to build that 6 and 7-figure empire. And so each building block is another level to that. And so once you get to the last building block, it's about scalability. So now we've created these lead generators. We have improved your selling, your marketing. We've done all these different things in between. Now let's make sure we have your business set up so you can scale it. Because, a lot of people are using the word scale as a buzzword, but it's for real. You want to grow your business. And that's what expansion is all about. So when you think about the tree, it grows outward. Yes, it grows up, and that's growth, but expanding, it grows outward. And so people say, well, how can I build $1 million business? Well, if each branch of business generates 6 figures for you, and if you have 7 branches of business, that's $1 million business. So people teach it different ways, but that's just the framework that I use in order to help you expand. So let me put it in perspective. If you think about Tyler Perry, Nicole, Tyler Perry is, he's a mastermind. He's a creator. That's his gift.
Okay.
He is a creator. So out of his tree of creativity, he has a branch for plays. That is where he makes money. He has another branch of TV shows. He has another branch of movies. He has a production company. So he has all these branches. So when one is hanging low, you have all these other branches that are flourishing. And that's how you build a solid company. And that's, in my eyes, if I was to analyze what he's doing, which I am, that's how he's built to become $1 billion businessman. He's taken every branch of business and he has maximized it. And so that's kind of the concept of my building blocks. After I identify, we go through each block that I have in place: lead generators, strategic selling, making sure you have project management tools in place, because the bigger that you grow, you're the CEO. Now you got to hire, so it can't just be subcontractors. You need some employees that are actually in the business working with you. So every step, every building block is another level to you reaching that last block of scaling.
I love that. Look, sign me up. Sign me up. Okay. I love that. And I love your tree metaphor, right? I feel like sometimes you have to break it down in layman terms, right? And, we've all seen a tree, right? And I love how it grows out. It just makes so much sense. So you said something that stuck out to me as far as scaling being a buzzword, because we do hear scaling around everywhere, right? But for a person that maybe is an aspiring entrepreneur or new into entrepreneurship, what's your definition of scaling and what that looks like or should look like, so to say?
It means every step, every important step of growing your business. Okay. So an aspiring business owner wants to become a new business owner. Okay. And you become a new business owner, and then you scale to become an established business owner. And so as an established business owner, there's different places to grow. You hit 6 figures. Once you hit 100,000, the next level is 200. You know, a lot of people think 6 figures and then 7. No, it's the in between. So you scale your business up one level. You hit 200,000, then you go to 300, you go to 500,000. So, and when you scale, it grows visibility. It gives you the opportunity to build a business that has strong systems and strategies in place. A scalable business has a strong foundation. Okay. A scalable business knows their mission, their vision, their core values. They know they're very clear on who their target audience is. They have a solid framework where revenue is coming in on a day-to-day basis. They're not just breaking even, they're generating a profit, and they have great cash flow. So being a scaling business includes all of that, hitting those different levels and making sure that you have all the right systems and strategies in place, because eventually as a business owner, you want to get to the place where you're actually the CEO and you're working on your business, where you have other people helping you work in your business. When you work on your business, you're the one that's generating the revenue. You're making deals, contracts, you're out there speaking, you know, you're doing what you do. And so you bring in the revenue, but the people who work in the business keeps your business afloat. It keeps it moving. They're in your HR department. They're in your operations department. You're automating, you're outsourcing. It's making sure that everything is flowing so you don't have to worry about that. So there's different levels of scalability. And so it's important for you as a business owner. I have a quiz that you can take to help you identify where you fall. You know, are you new? Are you growing? Are you expanding? And there's different levels inside of each area. So it's important. This is what I tell everyone. Every business owner needs a coach. Okay. I don't care if you are $1 million business owner. I don't care if you're $1 billion business owner. If Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Jobs, all these people who are doing their thing have advisors and mentors and coaches, that doesn't make us any different. You need someone who can educate you on these things, because a lot of times as business owners, you know what you know your know-how. I tell my clients, I'm not trying to teach you to be a real estate agent. You know how to do that. Right. I want to teach you how to run your business the right way, the fundamentals of business, how to make it grow, how to make it scale. And so if you don't have a mentor or a coach, then find someone who speaks the language that you speak, where your spirits connect, to help you grow. And if you have a coach, they have a coach, everybody's constantly pulling themselves up. And that's really important. You got to invest in yourself.
Yes, I love that. Right. Like it made me think of, when you said foundation, it made me think of the reference of not being able to build a house on quicksand. Right. And in order to get, to that next level, that the level you're on has to be good, so that you can then aspire to the next level. And then you reminded me of, I remember hearing or watching one of Lisa Nichols' presentations or talks, right? When she talked about speaking with Oprah, and she said during a break, Oprah asked her, how many coaches do you have? And she's like, I have 2. And then she asked Oprah, well, how many do you have? Oprah said, I have 4. So then Lisa said, when she left that meeting or the show, she went and hired her 2 more coaches, right? And I think a lot of times we see these people, in the light or whatever, and we think that they got there by themselves, but that is a myth. We're definitely better together, right? So I love that.
Yeah, definitely. The biggest thing that I see is business owners want to piece it together. They want to go on YouTube. They want to attend workshops. No, you need someone that is walking with you in the sand, helping you build your business. You need that advisor. You need that business coach like myself, who can give you insight and give you wisdom and give you ideas as you're along your journey. That's how you grow. And so you got to be willing to invest. And the more you invest in yourself, your mindset will expand. Your thought process around abundance, your thought process around the things that you can do, it will grow. So things maybe 20 years ago that I would have said, oh, I can't afford that, won't even enter my mouth. I don't even speak those words, because as women, especially as women of color, we can afford what we want. We will do whatever we need to do in order to get them red bottoms, baby.
Listen.
To get our hair done.
Look, you stepping on somebody's toes right now.
Okay.
You stepping on somebody's toes.
We will go out and get us a Gucci, a Louis, things. I like them too. But what's number one for me is investing in myself. So If you invest $100, then expect $100 investment in return. If you invest 1,000, so the more you invest, especially with someone who provides results, oh my gosh, it's no limit to where you can go and what you can do.
Right, right. I love what you said as far as especially someone who produces results. Because I feel like a lot of people have, like how they say, coach hurt. You know, like a lot of people go out and they're hiring coaches that may not have results, right? So do your research before you give people your money and then say that, oh, coaches don't work, where it's like you have to take responsibility and, you know, take the onus of maybe you didn't do the research and find the right coach because there's someone out there for you.
Girl, I had that hurt. Nicole. So when I first started, my journey, I signed up with a young lady who really helped me build it, but she wasn't a business coach. So I needed a business coach. So she was fine. The next person I signed up with, because I knew what I knew, I just needed the guidance. I needed the help with the implementation. Girl, I was on this call with her and she said, okay, everybody share what you do. And I shared what I did. And she was like, no, don't share what I do. Share what you do. And I was like, oh, no. And then I went to her event, Nicole, and I'm like, girl, I could be teaching you. You need to be in my program. And so I cried the whole time there. That was a lot of hurt. And I shied away from coaching until I found someone who I did do the research and our hearts connected. We were on the same mental pathway. And it was just something where I was like, okay, this is the person. So I get it. As a coach, I still get the coach hurt. And there's a lot of false advertisement out there. There's a lot of people saying that they can do this and they can make you a millionaire in 30 days. And I'm like, no, do your research. I tell people, go Google me, go to my YouTube page, go to my website. Let's jump on a call. You can even talk to one of my clients because I want you to know that you're making the right decision. I just jumped on a call with the young lady who was interested in my coaching program. And she's like, well, I got to make sure my husband. I'm like, girl, let's get on a call with your husband. And so, yes. And that's when like I'm confident in who I am. I have the training, the certifications, I've done my due diligence, and I have the results. So whenever you're looking for someone, no matter what industry, no matter what they do, make sure you do your due diligence.
I like that. That is great advice. Now, let's talk mindset. The more I get into entrepreneurship, I feel like mindset is the brunt of the work personally. That's what I've come to learn personally, and even seen in the industry, just from talking to people, or should I say heard in the industry. But talk to us more about the importance of broadening our mindset as aspiring and current entrepreneurs. And give us any areas that you suggest we focus on and how we can achieve a new outlook.
Well, there's a quote that says, if you think you can, and if you think you can't, you're right. And so it all starts and ends with the mind. If you think you can achieve it, then guess what? You can do it. But if you think you can't, then you're absolutely right. And it comes from childhood. So there are a lot of things that you have to work on to get away from, to improve, to fix. If you're brought up a certain way, then your mindset around money is a certain way, your mindset around investing, your mindset around achieving. So there are some old habits that need to be broken. And so I tell people, especially business owners, you need to be on somebody's couch. Go find you a therapist. Everybody needs to talk to someone because you got to get over that old hurt and that old pain. But also, as you go to your next level, you need a therapist to help you really understand that there's no limit to what it is that you can achieve. But for some people, that's not their reality, and so that's why I go back to what I said about investing. The more you invest in yourself, you open up a window. Literally, when I invested in the coaching program, that the coach who I absolutely adored working with, I paid a salary. I never thought that I would invest that type of money, Nicole. I paid someone's salary, but let me tell you what that did to me. It shifted everything. And that's why I said, I no longer say what I cannot afford. I'm not going to put that in the atmosphere because I know what I've paid for, but I also know my worth. So if you don't know your worth, that's some personal work that you need to do. The personal development and the mindset, it all works together. It all works together, so really working on you. And it's a constant work. When I wrote my book about activating your gifts, it all starts with knowing who you be. That's what I say, knowing who you be. How did God create you? What are your power words? How do you self-motivate? How do you inspire your own self? A lot of times we wait for other people to tell us we're amazing or we're beautiful. But you can look in the mirror and you can tell yourself that. You have your words all over your office and your bedroom, constantly reminding yourself mentally of who you are and breaking whatever you need to break that, who you thought you were into who you need to become, So learning how to self-motivate, learning how to inspire yourself. Those are things that I teach about, because to become a successful business owner, you got to know success. You have to believe it. You have to believe that you can run a $500,000 company. You have to believe that you can network with people you never thought you could network with. Like, you have to know this. And it starts with that mental work. And to me, it all starts on somebody's couch. It really does. Because you got to break some things. You got to fix some things. And it's important. I feel like as women, we'll get help. But sometimes as men, especially Black men, it's a sign of weakness. But it's not. You got to become who you need to become. And you can't become who you need to become still dealing with that old drama, those old issues. Because what happens is, you are a business owner, but then you have your human self. And if you don't know how to compartmentalize, guess what? They just all kind of get all mixed up together. So when you have life going on, you don't know how to compartmentalize that. And then it spills over into business. And that's why a lot of business owners look to the left and look to the right. And the business owners who were with them in the beginning are no longer there. So mental work is important. And it's, like I said, it starts on someone's couch. I truly believe that.
Listen, Shaniece, you is my new BFF. Look, if you didn't know, now you know. Okay.
Girl.
That is my favorite, one of my favorite quotes by Henry Ford, right? I say it all the time because it's the truth, Absolutely. And I think that a lot of us don't understand the power of the mind. Like, we are so powerful without anything else but our brain, and to know that is a gem. Therapy. I just had a debate this weekend with somebody about therapy. Literally changed my life, right? And I preach it from the rooftop. And I had a debate with a guy. It's funny you said men of color, right? Like, he debated me down about why it wasn't right for him. But, I agree with what you said. It is some things that are deeply rooted that we may not even realize is there, and talking to a trained professional, which I think a lot of people are scared of therapy because they're like, oh, well, the therapists don't got their life together. It's not about that. They're trained professionals. They know things that you may not know, and they can help you get to a level that you need to get to. So, let's stop focusing on the wrong thing and focus on what's really important. And that should be trying to get to your best self.
Absolutely. And the therapist is not their therapist. Like, they got another therapist. Like, I'm not my own coach. I get a coach. So at the end of the day, you can't expect that therapist. First of all, they're human,
right?
And there's no one that's perfect, but they are trained to do what they do. They have the education and the expertise to back it. That's like, you are a coach, I'm a coach. Like, we're trained to do what it is that we do. And at the end of the day, we're not our own coaches,
right?
It's so crazy. I can coach my clients and then I'll be like, why didn't I tell myself that? You know what I mean? But I'm not my coach. I'm not my coach at the end of the day. So we got to get the help. We have to. If you are listening and you want to successfully succeed in your business, you need to be able to talk to someone. Because a lot of times, as a high level business owner, it's just you there. And you need help. You definitely need help.
Yes. In case you were wondering, the second WinHers United Virtual Summit has been postponed. The new dates are June 6th through June 9th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to winhersunited.com/events to get your ticket today. That's WinHersUnited.com/EVENTS. If you want to support the ongoing production of WinHers United, Your contributions are welcomed and appreciated. There are 2 ways that you can support us. One is via Cash App and the other is via Buy Me a Coffee. The Cash App handle for WinHers United is $WinHers United, and the Buy Me a Coffee URL is buymeacoffee.com/WinHers United. Go on over to winhersunited.com/podcast and check out the show notes for this episode to get the Cash App handle and the Buy Me a Coffee URL. Thank you in advance for your support. And remember that no donation is too small. Okay, that's a whole word now, whole word. Look, sign yourself up now.
Yep.
You also talked about something else that I want to dig into a little bit. It reminded me of something I pulled from a TV show that I do myself, right? But you mentioned power words and being able to inspire yourself. So I, like in my bathroom, what was the show? Being Mary Jane, like she had all of those sticky notes all over. So I got sticky notes in my bathroom right now. You know, I had to put a little tape because it get a little steamy in there, right? But they in there because I want to be able to inspire myself. But talk to us more about power words for someone who may not know what that is.
Okay, so a power word is a word that gives you power. It is a word where you describe you. And so I have activities in my book where you pick your own words and then you have someone else pick words and you see how they correlate, see how they match. Yeah. And so that is just a process in developing your gifts. There's 15 steps to identify your gifts to prepare for entrepreneurship. And so the power words, you then turn them into power statements. So to many people, they're, affirmations, but for me, I call them power statements because they give me power. Like if you look behind me, this is my word, unstoppable. This is my logo. So I am unstoppable because I've fallen many times and I get back up and I keep pressing. So if I hit a roadblock, I say that to myself, Shaniece, you're unstoppable. Remember when you got back up. Remember when you did this. Remember when you did that. So constantly training myself mentally on who I be. So your power word turns into a power statement and you constantly speak it. Girl, I have him in my son's room. He has his power words all over his room, to remind him of who he is, how he was created. It's the law of attraction, honestly, is what you put out comes back onto you. And really, for me, because spirituality is very important to me, is biblical, where life and death is in the power of the tongue. You got to be careful. That's why I tell people, don't speak negative over your children, over your marriage, over your spouse, because what you're doing is you're putting it out there in the universe. You're telling God that. And so when you tell God that, you also tell the enemy that. And so you got to be careful because on one shoulder, you got your spirit man. On the other shoulder, you got the enemy. They're always arguing. They're always going at it. So be careful what it is that you speak even over your life. And that's why I don't ever say I can't afford. If it's something that I cannot do, I just say that's not feasible for me right now. That's just something that I choose not to do. Because if I say that I can't afford it, I'm telling my pocketbook. And so I'll never be able to afford it. And it's mental. It's that mental work, right? You got to continue to tell yourself who you be. And if you're not it right now, who you desire to become. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And put that out there and watch it. If you do the work, watch it show up. Watch it show up.
I love that. Listen, I told you we was BFFs now. Now you going to keep proving me right. I love that. My first talk that I gave once I went into podcasting was about the power of your thoughts and your words, right? And I literally saw my life shape negatively because of my words, positively because of my thoughts. I've always been determined and a go-getter, but a lot of things I spoke negative over my life. And when one day, I took a step back and I'm like, oh my goodness, I said that. Oh my goodness, I said that. And it wasn't if I had the sense, at the time, I may not have said it. Right. So now, I get on a lot of people's nerves because somebody will say, oh, my back is killing me. I'll say, no, it hurts. Just simple as that. Right. It hurts.
Yes.
We're not going to talk about your back killing you because that's not what we want, and just that simple. Right. Getting down to those things that the colloquialisms that we're just so used to saying that we should not be saying.
Absolutely. I even had to tell my mom because I love her to death. No, you love her to life.
Right.
You love her to life, so it's the sayings. those sayings that we don't really understand the negativity behind them. You know, you don't love them to death. You love them to life.
Right.
You love them while they're here, you know, so just those small things that we need to fix. But also when you speak positive, you watch how things manifest in your life.
Listen.
Let me share this with you, Nicole. Me and my brother growing up, we always said we were going to buy land together. Okay. We always said it. We will have land together. We spoke that thing. We spoke it. We built houses next to each other.
Yes.
So we have land together.
Right.
We literally, where we walk back and forth, our kids grow up together. We have boundaries. You know, we respect each other, his family, my family, but we spoke it. And now we've seen the manifestation of what we put out in the atmosphere. I'm telling you, the law of attraction is real because it's biblical.
It's powerful. Very. Love it. Love, love, love it.
Now, let's talk personal development.
So, talk to us about your view on personal development and how you've developed yourself lately.
Personal development is important because you have to continue to invest in you personally. You know, I mean, I do a lot of reading. There's different books that I read to personally develop and invest in myself. There's courses that I will take in order to develop me, mindset courses. I'm very big on strengths. So I do a lot of work in Strength Finders. I don't know. Have you heard of Strength Finders?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, I do a lot of work.
I told
in
you we
that.
was BFFs now.
We are, girl. We are. And you know what I do now, Nicole? Like my clients, I really work with them on, you know, their strengths. My employees, I work with them. And then also the DISC program, you know, looking at the different traits. And then I also do another character assessment because as you're breathing, you should constantly be, you know, investing in personal development. But I also believe personal development is learning how to celebrate your wins and also celebrate yourself. Okay, there's a lot of development in that because a lot of times we work, and we don't take the time to celebrate us and celebrate the small things. We feel like it has to be huge for us to celebrate it. No, girl, when I hired my executive assistant, I celebrated that because I needed her, you know, just the small things, having everything done in 1 week. I celebrated that. So personal development, maturing in who you are is about celebrating yourself. I'm constantly feeding myself and my mind workshops, events, conferences for women. You know, it doesn't always have to be about business, just developing myself, you know, as a woman and the things that I want to do and accomplish and reading. One of the books that I'm reading right now, We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers. This is a great book. Not only does she deal with money, but she also deals with how amazing we are as women, you know, and why as women we get burnt out. And we don't take care of ourselves and the things that we need to do mentally and personally in order to develop the correct business. You can't develop an amazing business if you're not working constantly on you, how you talk, how you operate, how you manage money, your relationships in your life. Like all that makes up who you are, your health, taking care of you, you know, what you put in your body and how you're working out. So all those things, to me, in my opinion, are around personal development.
I love that. Love, love, love it. Like, I think personal development has, you know, so many aspects to it, like you said, right? And a lot of times we may think it's that skill for work, right? But a lot of the things that you referenced was more about tapping into who we are and learning more about ourselves. So I love that aspect, you know, and highlighting that because it's truly important. Like, how can you maximize yourself if you don't know what you need to know about yourself? And there's tools out there that can help you get to know them. I've taken Strength Finders twice. And the first time I took it, like, I was like, oh, wow, this is me. Okay. You know, and then I took it years later after my divorce and it changed a bit. But the changes made sense as to where I was, you know, 4 years later. So I love that.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm about to say we BFFs again, but, you know, it's celebrating wins. I literally have a room on Facebook every month called Celebrating Wins, where you come and you talk about your wins in business, mindset, personal development, and self-care, because it's super important to have that reflection. I inspire people to keep a log of their wins, keep a log of your wins. Like, I think people look at it like bragging. Like, I think the word bragging has a bad connotation and it shouldn't be looked at as bad because how can you appreciate what you've done if you don't celebrate it? What are you going to
Absolutely.
use to get you over the hump when you're feeling bad that day if you haven't recognized those things that you did great to look at them on the days that you don't feel so great, right? So I love, love, love that. And we all have to check out We Should Be Millionaires, right? And what you referenced as far as burnout leads us right into our next segment.
Let's talk self-care.
Is self-care a priority for you?
It is, but I learned this. I just didn't always do what I needed to do to take care of myself. I learned it along the way because I got to a place, Nicole, where, I almost had a breakdown. Like I wasn't taking care of me. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do. I was a mom. I was running everywhere, doing this and not stopping to take care of me. So one of my girlfriends, she gets a massage every month, faithfully. And so things like that, getting your nails done, getting your feet done, taking yourself out to dinner. I think I said, get your hair done. Like whatever self-care means to you, take the time. Don't be so busy where you don't take the time to work on you because you will, look up and be totally burnt out and trying to figure out how you got there. Self-care is actually at the top. We give, especially, as coaching and consulting, we give out. We got to be poured back into. We got to fill our cup back up. So self-care, traveling, I can't wait to get to a place like you, girl, where you just all over traveling every quarter. Like that's one of the goals on my vision board. I want to travel every quarter, get my business to a place where I can be like, y'all take care of it. I'm out. But every summer, me and my family, we go away for like 2 weeks and we, just enjoy each other. And that's self-care to me. Sitting on the beach, listening to the water, feeling the breeze. That's self-care to me. Taking care of my inner self as well as my outer self.
I love it. Love, love, love it. As I was listening to you, it made me think of self-care isn't selfish, right? And I think that, we need to rewrite the narrative because, who wrote this script that told us that we was wrong to take time out for ourselves? Because if we don't, it's not going to be any of ourselves to do everything that we need to do, right? So I think that that is great. Great advice. You talked about a lot of different things that we could do for self-care, but tell us what's your favorite thing to do.
Travel. That's my favorite. I mean, just being on someone's beach, like that's everything for me. I love Jamaica. We're going back to Jamaica this summer. If I could go to Jamaica every quarter, I would. I love it. I love being there. I love being on the beach because I'm in Ohio. So we're not by the beach at all. We got to travel to get to it. So that's it for me. And then, on every 2 weeks, I make sure I get my manicure, my pedicure. I take the time to do my hair. Like those are things where I can step away from. I love my family. I love my kids. I love my husband, but stepping away and that's me time where I love to do my hair. Like my hair is natural. I love to do it. I love all the fun products. That may sound silly to other people, but that gives me joy. That really gives me joy. Or laying in the bed at night when after everybody is asleep and picking up my book and reading. That gives me joy. And you know what else? Me and my husband watching movies. I am a Marvel fanatic. I love Marvels. Like action movies, like Marvel, it allows me to step out of my own world and become these action figures. That sounds crazy, but I'm serious.
I told you we BFFs now. I told you.
So my name, like Spider-Man, Supergirl is the unstoppable one. So I took my power word, right? My logo, add the one at the end. So I'm in my cape. I'm the unstoppable one. And it's just fun to me and having fun. Me and my family we'll throw a party just because. At one of our houses, invite our friends, our family over. I mean, for my husband's birthday, I invited friends, family. We had a DJ. I mean, literally just fun stuff. That's what I love to do. Again, that's self-care to me. So I know I just gave you a whole lot. I'm sorry, Nicole.
Listen, I like all of them. Look, sign me up for all of them.
Girl, and you are invited. Come.
Look, don't look. I get on a plane in a minute now.
I know you will.
Don't forget what you said was, when I'm at the door, like, hey. Look.
Girl, I'll be like, come on in.
I love that. And something that you said really stuck out to me, right? Like, as far as you may think this is crazy. To me, that leads to what's your thing may not be everybody else's thing, right? And that doesn't matter. Someone might like everything that you just said. Someone may not like it, right? If you like everything, great. Write them down, adopt them, practice them. If you don't like it, figure out what you do like. But the most important thing is that you take self-care seriously and implement it into your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In my 20s, I was just trying to figure it out, Nicole, just trying to figure it out, graduating, figuring out if I'm going to run my business, work for someone else. Then in my 30s, it was challenging. I was trying to figure out who I was. I went through my divorce. I found love again. I just trying to figure out who I was. And now in my 40s, I know who I am, and if it's something that I do doesn't fit someone else's narrative, oh, well, just like if someone doesn't accept my prices, then I'm not their ideal coach. Like, I'm okay with who I am and how God created me. And I think it's just an evolution. It's you evolving to become who you are and being okay if people don't agree with you and don't like what you like and don't want to do what you do. It's okay. It's okay. Right. You still keep being you.
Right. Yes. Keep being you. Look, that's a word right there. All right. I love it.
As a bonus, let's talk celebrating wins.
So tell us about your latest win and why it's important to you.
Okay. So I've been talking about it. It's my book, Activating Your Gifts, and it's my second edition. And it's 15 steps to identifying your gifts to prepare for entrepreneurship. But you know what's so crazy? I have people who are developing their career and they're reading it. I have people who are developing their ministry and they're reading it because it is really allowing people to identify their purpose, identify their gifts. So me rewriting that book is my win. It is my win because I did it kicking and screaming. My literary coach was like, because I was like, I'm not rewriting that. You know how we get. I'm not doing that. And I did it. And I'm telling you, I truly believe that the book is anointed by itself to change the world. And I'm getting so many testimonials like, Shaniece, oh my gosh, what I'm learning about myself. And I'm in the wrong business. I should be doing this. Or, you know what? I got this business, but now I see me developing this and developing that. So that's my win right now. Like, I just had a book launch and it was sold out. Absolutely phenomenal event. And I mean, let me share this with you, Nicole. In 10 days, I gave myself the challenge to sell 10K in 10 days. I did that. And one of the avenues of me doing that was selling 102 books in 10 days. And so that's my win. I am grateful. I'm just loving the place that I'm in right now. But another thing, too, is the first time that I truly believe that I can build $1 million company. And I'm going to tell you why that means so much to me right now, because I have a goal to help a lot of women. My goal is to help at least 1,000 women build phenomenal businesses. And so I know when I reach that number, I will have helped a lot of women. So yes, I definitely want to be known as $1 million company, but that's not the most important thing to me. What I know about our gifts, they weren't given to us for us. They're given to us for us to help other people. Our gifts are connected to people. And if we don't walk in our gifts, the certain people that are connected to our gift, they will not be blessed. And so I want to make sure that while I'm on this earth, I do exactly what the Lord wants me to do. So when I get to heaven, he says, job well done. I want to go empty. I want to make sure that I am totally poured out. I want to make sure that I've used my gifts. I want to make sure that the people who are connected to me are winning. And so this is like the first time where I'm saying that is the goal for 2022 is to build $1 million business. And I can see it. So that's a win for me to be able to say that because I know the results that are going to come from it.
Chills. All I can say is chills. Look, the BFF thing is signed, sealed, and delivered. That is one of my prayers. I pray that I leave here empty, meaning I've done all that God created for me to do.
Mm, mm.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
this
it.
is good. This
And
is
I can't
great.
wait to hear about it. I can't wait to hear about it, right? Keep us in the
Yes,
loop, okay?
I
Keep
will.
us in the
Remember, we're
loop.
BFFs now, so we're gonna be talking, and yes, we are connected now, girl.
Yes. All right, Shaniece. So tell us what being a WinHer means to you.
Well, when I was doing my research and I was on your website, and I love the fact that you are promoting women of color running businesses. And for me, that means me being an African American woman, me being someone who, is trying to help other women. That's what it means. Like, winning and helping her and helping her and helping her and helping her, like just being able to help as many people as I can. And I just applaud you for giving us the platform to be able to share our gifts, because there are people who would have never known about me, but from your platform, you being anointed to do what you do has given me the opportunity. And there may be someone listening that needs help, so WinHer means being able to help other women win at the end of the day. And that's really important to me.
I love it. Love it. Look, I receive. I receive. All right, Shaniece, I like to talk. I could hold you here all day, but I won't do that to you, right? So two things. If you have any parting words for us, let us know that. And then you can go straight into telling us where to find you, how to connect with you. I'll drop the link to your book in the comments, but you can also tell your website, all that good stuff. And I'll also put that in the show notes for people to get access to as well.
There's a great quote, and I know Martin Luther King said this. I'm not sure if he is the original, but if I can help someone else along the way, then my living will not be in vain. And so everybody listening, I want you to put that in your spirit. If you can help someone else along the way, then your living will not be in vain. And that's what I think about all the time when I'm talking to someone, when I'm sharing with them. If I can help them, that means that I'm walking in my purpose and I'm using my gifts. So, that's a parting gift that I want to give to all of you. If you can help someone along the way, then I'm telling you, your living will not be in vain. And where you can find me, all of my social media is just Shaniece M Wise, SHANIECE M and then WISE. So Facebook, Shaniece M Wise, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and then my website, www.shaniecemwise.com. And then for my book, the name of the book, the website, activatingyourgifts.com. So that's where I'm at.
Yes. Make sure y'all connect with Shaniece because she got all of the gems and will help us get to 6 and 7 figure businesses. And that's what we all deserve to be. Shaniece, it has been such a pleasure. Oh my goodness. I truly enjoyed it. And just thank you for sharing with us.
Absolutely. And if I can take a minute just to speak into your life, Nicole, thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for giving women the platform to be able to share their gifts. Thank you for your spirit. When we got on our initial call, we just instantly connected. So I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing. I pray that the Lord blesses you abundantly above all that you could ever imagine. So thank you.
You're welcome. I really enjoyed this interview with Shaniece, and I hope you did as well. My takeaway was Shaniece's emphasis on the importance of therapy and having power words to keep my mind right. What's your takeaway from this episode? Send me an email and let me know. My email is winhersunited@gmail.com. I would truly love to hear from you. One of my mottos is sharing is caring. So I sure hope that you care to share. Also, don't forget to check out the show notes of this episode to read Shaniece's full bio. Again, to get the Cash App handle for WinHers United, get the direct link to the WinHers United Buy Me a Coffee page, and much more. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another amazing, winning woman of color entrepreneur. But until then, as always, be empowered and empower on.